When that one YouTuber makes a video on Mike Twit, it's all over. And Motormouth Mike over here just couldn't help but run their mouth, and here I am. If you're like a Deltarune fan on Twitter and you say, quote unquote, that one YouTuber, it's almost always me, and if it's not, people mention me because I'm who comes to mind, and eventually I'm gonna find it because people, you know, tag me about it. The thing is, this was said over a month ago, and I told this fella back then that time was running thin on when I was gonna cover it. The truth is, I was actually saving it for a rainy day, because this is a truly unique side of Deltarune Twitter. They are uniquely unhinged, and I truly believe that, even considering stuff we've already seen. Sometimes I throw darts at him and he can't scream because he's not real. I remember these little dot things you'd have to iron, perfect for recreating pixel art in real life. So a quick rundown on what the mics are in the context of modern day Deltarune. They refer to 3 people pretending to be the real Mike that you can find in chapter 4 of Deltarune, all of which are farces. One is a reference to friend inside me theory, another is a reference to, the cat friend being Mike, and the last one is Mike being a literal microphone. The thing is, all of those people are just guys in costumes. The real people look like this underneath. This is Batat, this is Pluey, and this is Jongler. These two end up appearing like this in all their subsequent Deltarune appearances, but Pluey just puts the cat costume back on, which helps set him apart from other shadow guys. And personally, I prefer the look of that. If you're one of those people who says, actually, those are the name of the video games and not their names, shut the fuck up. I'm gonna stick your head in a toilet and give you a swirly. Mike Twit is just a really, really surprising niche of fandom to have come and cropped up, because they're endgame content in chapter 4 alone. They don't have like some major billing in the actual story, but they got popular enough that they were the first scene from chapter 5 to be officially revealed by Toby Fox. I think the way to introduce you to like how nuts people can get about these guys is to just throw you in the deep end. Back in August, Cheesebracker said, I gotta draw friend possessed Batat. Friend being device friend, it doesn't really matter. The less you can follow, the more immersed you'll be in this storytelling. Copycat friend pins in Plutat with friend possessing Batat x Pluey. This is like something I'm 5 months behind to at this point. I actively have been stacking up posts like this from whenever Mike Twit gets out of hand, so I could show it to y'all down the line in one fell swoop. Of course, Mike Twit just has annoying pattern recognition. They see this sort of smile on anything vaguely circular, and it's like, oh my god, it's Batat in costume. I love how all Batat fans are collectively psychopaths, and I think that's true. I think of the 3 mics, people are collectively the most insane about Batat, the green one. He's the only green Pippins. Jongler has a personality to him, but at the end of the day, he just looks like a standard mob from TV World. People mostly just think Pluey is cute because he just really leans into the whole cat thing. Like, there's a whole ass guy in this suit, but he's just fully committing to the Mike cat thing, and I hope it stays that way for the rest of the game. I really hate it when they're mean to Pluey. I love Pluey so much. Oh my god, this is one of my favorite parts. Miserable. I said miserable! You made him sad! You should be fucking ashamed of yourself, whoever said that. I haven't played that section of the game yet. Speak loud and clear into the underpaid worker. I wish this fucker went completely unpaid, the same way that every single one of his fans are, because there's no way you have a job and actively like this guy. I just like seeing him in fear, which I guess makes me more similar to the average Batat fan than you would think. Like, this is just a scrunkly in the same vein as Spampton that most people like to torture, but he has less good reasoning to torture. I think he's just something people like to stretch and squish like Play-Doh. Of course, there's also multi-mic or polymike shipping, which is when you ship all 3 mics together, which comes from a part in the game where you can like use the petting attachment in the mic room to make them all like blush when you put them next to each other. But it's like when you put all 3 of these guys next to each other in outfit, they'll just all blush by being in close proximity. Like, they're all blushing right here. I feel like Toby has a good sense of what characters he makes that people are going to latch onto unreasonably. Even if he's scared about being wrong, his batting average is pretty fucking good right now. Batat's hitting the beat it chick pose over here as he says, I give up, in front of his red poster board of just red thread tracking. Oh yeah, if you guys didn't know, their whole thing is like being theorists who just got really obsessed over figuring out who the actual Mike was and pretending to all be Mike themselves because they just didn't know. He did give it up in the chapter 5 first scene reveal because he's just like leaning back like one of the bad guys in chapter 1 and sipping battery acid like Queen. Truly a sellout. I can't believe he has any people who are still fans of him. This sprite makes me feel a genuine sadness deep in my heart. I feel like Mike Twit's feelings about each Mike in question is like one distinct emotion they're able to feel for each one. For Jongler, it's general indifference. For Pluey in his cat form, it's sadness and genuine compassion, the only one of these creatures they're actually able to feel empathy for. And for Batat, it's like a sort of obsessive disdain, or it's something they love so much they need to see everything that it has to offer, which includes torturing them. One of the most insane fan arts I've seen across all fandom, not just in Deltarune, has to be this shit. Hello, I took a shower today, so I drew Batat with some of my hair that fell out. Thank you for your time. You are going bald. How did you actually get character and facial expression to, like, be at all visible in this artistic medium? It's genuinely impressive, the trick you've pulled off here, but I am incredibly concerned about what kind of person you are. I feel like if Batat fans never beat the "they're all insane" allegations, I might have to take at least some of the blame, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. Don't worry, it's not all just you're just a major contributing factor, big guy. More evidence to the theory that liking Batat is a mind virus, and they have this on their corkboard right next to a friendship bracelet they have with Batat's name spelled on it. How can I make this about Fred? People have, I don't know why, but headcanon things I've done in the past in regards to Deltarune is something that Batat would totally do. And I was just talking about the ubiquity of friend in general. Get out of my head, get out of my head, get out of my head. Very appropriate thumbnail added here, I think at least. This is a thumbnail and title of a video Batat would make. I agree, but take it up with Matthew Patrick if you really want to get some headcanons that you can project Batat onto. No other glup shitto has this much motion. Kinda scary. I would argue that a ton of glup shittos have this kind of motion. I would just say one as otherwise as unnoteworthy as Batat doesn't usually get this specific of a kind of following, like people this passionate about him. Like if Batat was a Twitch streamer, he would have such a high percentage of people who are chatters versus lurkers. Very dedicated though niche audience, but a very committed one nonetheless. Why are Batat fans always doing things like this? It scares me. I respect Batat fans, but I also fear you. Fear is the wrong word. I would simply fear becoming like them. Like when they tell you that this sort of shit is a mind virus that they could never escape, believe them and run in the opposite direction. Only observe them through a one-way mirror so that Batat cannot know you're there and therefore try to infect you next. Somebody said this to an account named the Batat Breeder, which I'm gonna be honest, there's no way this was ever going to mean something good or bode good tidings. A message they got from an unnamed source. You're kinda like Ding's Gaster, but instead of a royal scientist, you're a Twitter user. And instead of creating infinite energy, you made the worst ship ever. You're like Wings Gaster if he got obsessed with something completely unproductive and had nothing to offer to the underground. A very apt comparison, I think. Like, I'm damn near seeing double with how similar they are. I can respect Mike Twit having their self-awareness about them. Like, oftentimes they do participate in the wider Deltarune community. Like, they'll have little twits that bang in their own right when they're talking about characters outside their immediate circle. Like, here's a Lancer tweet that did well, and then in the second reply down in the thread, hit tweet, do not follow me, I'm on Mike Twit. And that's the kind of self-awareness I can respect, telling people to have some self-preservation about them, not trying to farm followers off of it, saying, hey, listen, this is like a biohazard, you really shouldn't get involved with what I do on the regular. The tweet that you saw of mine was a rare instance of me having some sense about me. You guys know that Adventure Time song where Ice King is singing about forgetting all about his previous relationship with Marceline? I can't play it because the clip in the song will get copyrighted, but if you know what it is, then this will make sense to you. Well, how confusing this is will make sense to you. This is how it feels trying to talk to a Deltarune fan who's fallen down the Pluey Batat polyamorous friend Gaster pipeline. You could probably get them in on the friend Gaster pipeline, even the connection between friend and Gaster. But like when you start mentioning Pluey in not just the abstract, but as a character who's named and been revealed, like it's just, you're really asking a lot, man. Jongtat is real. That sounds like a fucking K-pop group ship. Though that friend is just that cowboy guy over there. Uses green so you'd look good with a green drink. Sorry, I forget him because he doesn't talk. Be nice to Pluey! Be nice to Pluey! They blush when they're all next to each other, but so does Pluey when he's next to you. You're excluding him. He's part of the friend group too. Get your fucking priorities straight. I'm so goddamn sick of Mike Twit, dude. I like his autism stare. Honestly, Batat might have like one of the most well-sourced arguments for being autistic out of any Deltarune side character. I feel like you can make an argument for a large portion of them, but I mean, fucking look at the guy, dude. And not like just how he looks, but also how he acts. Like he's very much in that. You've probably seen this in one of my thumbnails before, and I'm kind of regretting not using it for this video. But as the perfect encapsulation of how Mike Twit tends to treat Batat specifically, They love crucifying this guy. Like, here he is in the context of the game, crucified, bleeding from the crown of thorns and where the stigmatas have been put in his wrists. Average Batat subplot is him getting burned at the stake while crucified. Also, a quick anatomical critique of anybody who draws crucifixions. Don't put the stakes through the hands, otherwise they would just go straight through the hand as they can't support the body. Jesus was actually crucified through his wrist bone. If you like flex your wrist, you can see like this little two-pronged fork. He got nailed in between those to hold him up. The nails will be a little further down, like here and here, as opposed to directly on the palm. Whereas the Mike Polycule subplot is just enjoying themselves over here. Somebody made a physical crucifixion on paper of Batat. Here is a goddamn shrine video.
Don't you like it?
No. No. It's scaring me. Please move. And last but not least, when all two of your friends are busy, this could apply to any number of trios in Deltarune. Like, I've already seen Kevin Hart drawn as Rosse in this image. Anyways, that's all that I got. If you guys are on Mike Twit or decide to go and look at it for yourself, stay safe out there. I don't think I'll be hearing from you again if you go deep. That kwytebox email is in the description if you guys want to send me any video topics. Anyways, piss off.